Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the evening part of the Velvet Innovation Conference 2022. Do you want to meet innovation leaders of 2022? Yes, of course you do. Yes. People that are about to come on stage are a very important fertilizer of the land that we all try to cultivate by what we do. A lineup of short pitches will introduce you the most recent and forthcoming innovation initiatives from South Moravia that came into realization past year. Our guide through this review of what has been achieved, built and started will be Jiří Hlavenka, Counselor for Science, Research and Innovation from South Moravian region. Hello, Jiří.
Good evening.
But before we start, there is a time to tell who won the pitching session that took place this afternoon. Are you curious? I bet. It was not easy fight, it was tough till the very last moments, but now we know the name. And Jiří, will you announce it?
The winner is Miko.
Congratulations! So, the winner, please come here. Great job. It was well deserved.
So, David, let the mushrooms grow.
Of course.
Okay. Anything more? Okay, thank you, and wish you great success.
Maybe
I expected a longer speech from you.
maybe if you want to say thanks to your family, to your colleagues, or anything, you can grab microphone and say anything.
Okay, I thank you,
Some
my
last
team,
message.
because they are really special. I thank you, mushrooms, they are growing anytime. And thank you, our investors, and thank you, everyone who voted for us. And of course, thank you, the other projects, because they are great.
Once again, congratulations. Let's hope it's not the last success of your project. Okay, so now, Jiří, you are responsible for innovation policy in the region. So, according to you, how do you rate the past year in terms of what has been achieved?
Okay, I think what is important to say that maybe let's go back to do Miko and use this parable of gardening. All we do is a long-term thing. So the success of today is a harvest. It's the harvest of the things that we planted or helped to plant and cultivate 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 18 years ago. And now we reap the harvest. So it is not just success that came blue sky. The companies grow slowly, then grow faster. And the best one achieved a major milestone, major success. This is what we do. We are helping to grow and cultivate the whole environment, all the companies. I would like to mention at least four that are worth mentioning for this year's success. First, a major investment round. What it means, a big money coming here to this region. This is what is important to say. Is Kiwi got like $2.5 billion, which is obviously a huge crowns investment, huge in maybe one of the largest in this region for further development. Kiwi is doing extremely well after this obviously COVID season that was very bad. So has the best results in the history, and I believe that next year we will see some major milestone from this company. Other that after a long years in the business has achieved another big investment round, $1.5 billion crowns, which is Kentico. I believe that guys from both companies we will see here. Again, for the further development, again money that mostly will go here to this region. It's very important. And encouraging and further enhancing the capability of this region. What is also mentioned worth mentioning is a trademark, which is rather young cybersecurity company, got $3 million, and maybe successful exit of Packard Vision, which is also not an old company, which is successful young exit worth like 400 million. I know I'm talking just in the numbers and the finance, but this is something that this is very important. This is the harvest. Because from my point of view, we are putting some public money. It is always difficult to say if the public money shall go to this, let's private environment. But when we will see this harvest, this is like proof that we are doing the right thing.
Well, it was for the individual companies, but when it comes to the innovation policy that you are responsible for, what are your priorities there and what are the highlights there?
Yeah, we will see the leaders after this speech that will talk about specific things that they are doing and specific successes for this year. I would like to highlight some, let's say, maybe three focuses, three priorities that we are working on. Again, it is worth noting that the care of the ecosystem is actually a mundane, a repetitive work. We do every year the same, every year again and again and again, cultivating because new companies came, new young, bright people came, and we are doing actually very patiently the same work a lot of years, and the success is that is hidden. Especially in that we are doing this for many years with the great care. We are trying to improve, obviously, but it is like the gardener. You just every year you seed something, you grow something, you harvest something. The three focuses. I would like to focus on one thing, which are startups. There is a very simple equation. The more startups you have, the more unicorns you have after 10 years or 15 years. That's it. Yeah, very simple. Obviously, you need to focus on good startups. But you never know which startup will become the unicorn. We saw today 5, I think, beautiful startups. Some may become unicorn, maybe not, maybe 2. Nobody knows which one. Second area is the care about the young talents. We need to identify and grow and help young talents, people with entrepreneurial spirit through the schooling system, and work with them to improve their soft skills, to show them what is possible, to help them on their way to the big success. Maybe what is worth mentioning, what I personally are monitoring, is the thinking age of the young people that are actually ready to do business. This is something that is worth mentioning, that we are finding younger and younger people that are surprisingly mature to do business. Let's take one example, are the young influencers. 12 years old guy or a girl, and they have a business. This is okay, this is just, we can recruit, this is just influence, but the young person needs to make product, make sales, has a company, grows. Well, this is a business. It is 12-year-old person. So, and the third area, which maybe is a little bit behind, but guys will talk about it, is that we are not only caring about the young, innovative companies, but also for the old companies. Yeah? For companies mostly from the manufacturing, you said the first or second speech, I hope it is so important, and we are working on the fact to make a young company from the old companies again. Yeah, the companies that raised from the 90s, maybe there are old founders that only coming to age, passing to this kids or other. They are not digitalized, not automatized, not enough automatization, and we are helping them again to gain the spirit, to revoke the product, to be able to perform in this difficult age. So I would like there's obviously more priorities, but these three are that I would like to focus on.
Okay, so let's see that in details during the presentations. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, and welcome the leaders. Thank you.
So let's check the garden and its fruit of 2022. So as the first speaker, I would like to welcome on stage Lukáš Veselý. He will introduce to one of the most promising initiatives in the creative sector of Brno region innovation ecosystem, the very first game dev incubator in the Czech Republic.
Thank you, Martina. So, good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to have such a precious audience. Okay, let's play. No, I mean, let's talk about video games. They've been around since 1958. Wow, on an oscilloscope. On game consoles since the 60s. And I guess many of you have known them from childhood. They have been with us ever since and will continue to be ever more spectacular, more imaginative, and more interactive. The gaming industry has already surpassed the film and music industries combined in sales worldwide. Video games are an integral part of our lives, and the number of players is still growing. Wow, 3 billion now. Game development is a specific field. It combines creativity, art, technology, and business. And we Czechs are really good at it. But elsewhere in Europe, they appreciate the gaming industry more and support it with accelerators and incubators. And we want to change this. We want Brno to be one of the European game development capitals. And that's why we want to build a game dev center in Brno that will connect community, experts, education, and the public. The game incubator is the cornerstone, and its goals are to provide adequate workspace and facilities for teamwork and education, to create a comprehensive educational program on the topic of entrepreneurship in game development, to accelerate the establishment of young companies, developers and their projects on world market, and thus to increase the number of actors in fast-growing gaming industry, and thus the number of high-skilled jobs in this region. We are just launching a pilot run of the game incubator this fall with student teams, and the capacity is currently filled. The following are involved in the preparation and execution: Kunst and JIC, Game Dev Area, and Game Cluster. So, let's build the capital together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lukáš. It sounds really cool. We wish you good luck. As time goes by, innovation policy is reaching new areas. Jiří Hlavenka was talking about it a little bit. Educating the youngest is one of them. So please welcome Hana Šolcová, that will introduce Entrepreneurial Mind.
Good evening. Remember when you were kids and, for example, you constructed the best car in the world from everything you find in father's garage. And then you decided to use the car to help every old ladies from your neighborhood with heavy bags. Imagine there are teachers who could guide you and help you with this adventure. And that's what we do. More than 6 years, Lipka and JIC has been systematically supporting more than 100 schools from South Moravian region to make development of entrepreneurial skills to be the main pillars of education. We create Entrepreneurial Mind platform which is helping us to do so. Our main inspiration is European Entrepreneurship Competence Framework, an existing European initiative that describes entrepreneurship as a competence. It's designed for people who are interested in learning, teaching, and fostering the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that make entrepreneurial mindset. What does it mean? Competence for entrepreneurship refers to the capacity to act upon opportunities and to transform them to values for others. Entrepreneurship education teaches the general skills that can be used across all areas of life, personal, civic, and professional spheres. The world is changing faster than ever, and educational system must reflect it. Entrepreneurial mind as a platform, offers helping hand for educators. Thanks to us, every school can be entrepreneurial. Every child can confidentially take responsibility for his life. Because entrepreneurship education is not businessmen, is not kindergarten for businessmen. Entrepreneurship is a life attitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanka, for introducing Entrepreneurial Mind. Here you can see the link, and I would like to encourage you, dear audience, to send the link to anyone who has an effect or a power or influence on how we educate our children for the life beyond the school gate. It could be very useful. So, what's next? In last year, we recorded 2 successes in the EU program for creation and development of the so-called European Digital Innovation Hubs. The topic that has a long-standing tradition within innovation policy here in the region is manufacturing and its digitalization. So please welcome Erik Odvářka, who will tell us more about it.
Thank you for introduction. The Czech industry accounts roughly for 30% of GDP and gross value added. And whilst we all struggle with filling in various paper forms in the authorities, in the offices, only 19% of small and medium-sized enterprises do have approved strategy for digitization, automatization, and robotization in place. The companies actually lack skilled workforce, they do not have sufficient funding in place, and frequently they are not clear about return on investment if they decide to pursue the transformation. So the mixture of these pitfalls results in only 1/3 of SMEs planning to invest in digital transformation. So how do we go after a systematic change? The European Digital Innovation Hub, DigiMat, is planned to kick off next January, and we've prepared pinned actions to boost the transformation among the enterprises worth more than 2.5 million euros in the next 3 years. First of all, we are going to start with ecosystem building and networking so that the manufacturing companies can learn together with the system integrators and technologies company together. Additionally, we are going to focus on building skill bases among the manufacturing companies so that none of their employees is left behind in the digital age, and we nurture the most talented people. There is going to be a testbed available so that the companies can try out the novel solutions before they opt out for actual investment. We've also formed multiple partnerships with the most respected foreign institutions so that our companies can see the digital factories of future in real operation. So how do we go after some practical changes? Imagine that your purchasing department in the manufacturing company does not need to focus on putting the orders manually to the vendors and chasing constantly the vendors about late deliveries, missed quantities, or poor quality. The company can decide to implement smart connected supply network, for instance, so that all of that is done automatically, and the company can work with the vendors on improving the relations, the supplies quality, and looking what is ahead of us. So thank you to the Brno region, the South Moravian region, Brno municipality, local universities, so that we can work on these exciting themes. And I would like to encourage, especially the manufacturing companies, the system integrators, and technological companies to come and see us at INTEMAC so that we can execute this transformation together. Thank you.
Thank you, Erik. Thank you very much, and let's hope that with the new financial injection, the share of companies that are digitalized will increase in the region. When the business of innovation is mentioned, I think that JIC certainly comes to mind, at least for many of us. This year, however, a new agency was created, and this agency has ambition to become a leader in innovation in the public sector. Please welcome Patrik Reichl, director of this new agency.
Thank you very much to having me here. Good evening, everybody. So, right at the beginning, I have one question for you. And what do you mean by innovation? To be better understood, I mean, where the innovation are mostly adopted, in what sectors, in what industries? I have only 3 minutes, so you cannot answer. So I can guess that you mean mostly in such industries like we are in Brno, a space industry, or IT development, or gaming, on such these things, and etc., etc. But is there anybody who think or thought that innovation could be implemented or uptaking also in a public sector? Is there anybody who think it? Yeah. Well, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you're so many. Okay, thank you very much. So in social and healthcare, or with the dealing in authorities, when you go for pick up your new driving license, or if you go for building permit, etc., etc. I will show you something how long take adopting innovation in the public sector. So one case in 2010, Microsoft came with the new technology in Xbox Kinect. You can move your body and then control the games. At the same time, or maybe a little bit later, it was uptaken in industry, in controlling the production line, automotive industry in autonomous, and after 12 years, it was uptaking as a huge innovation in the public sector, in social services like assistive technology to help the elderly people or enable people to be a longer time at home and not in a nursing house. So after 15 years, it is innovation in public sector. It's not normal. We don't think it is normal. So that's why I'm here to ask you to help us to find if you have some ideas or if you have some existing technology which should be or could be implemented and adapted to public services, to let us know about it. And who is us, who you can contact? It is JINAG. It's a brand new agency which was established by South Moravian region for bringing innovation to public sector to be adopted faster than today's. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrik. JINAG that wants to do it, JINAG. When I mentioned 2 successful projects within the European Digital Innovation Hub program, now it's time to look at the second one. I would like to invite Jakub Čegan from Masaryk University that will tell us details about it.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. I have big news for you. Cybersecurity is boring. It's not the topic you're supposed to talk with on your first date. And if she doesn't doze off after a few sentences, you literally have to marry her. But we have to do it anyway. It's extremely important. And cybersecurity is more important every year. There are more attacks, they are more complicated, more orchestrated, and there are, of course, more attackers. I have been in cybersecurity for many years, ages. We built CyberEng Arena. We created first open source CyberEng training environment. And now we have European Digital Innovation Hub to do it even better. Of course, we have a couple of services to offer. But instead of that, let me tell you a story, a very short one. Imagine you're a company in the energy sector, and you have a kind of big problem, the cybersecurity one, right? And so let's try to solve it. And let's try to solve it our way. I'll tell you how. During spring 2022, Russia attacked Ukraine, as we all know that. And part of that was also a cybersecurity operation, which was executed by a group called Sandworm, also known as Unit 74455, which is basically part of Russian military intelligence. They orchestrated extremely complicated, extremely smart attack with idea to create a national blackout to destroy the Ukrainian power grid. And what we did, we studied that attack, we also studied the other attacks, and we create an exercise for that said energy company. And what we want to do, we want to help them by training them, by preparing their defenses before something like that will happen in real life. And well, that's what we also do. We train people, we are preparing them for things which may happen and will happen. So, is it interesting in the end? I guess so. And if it makes you interested, are you corporate, are you SME, are you public body, are you hospital, are you anybody? And do you want to cooperate, like just give us a call or like, catch me during the evening and we can talk. I don't bite. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jakub. After this talk, I'm sure that many of us think that cybersecurity is actually a fun thing to do. Here we are. The last speaker is Petr Boháček, who represents a consortium of companies led by the Brno-based company TRL Space. And after this talk, you will doubt that the sky is the limit. Because obviously it's not.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to structure my pitch by these 5 W's: what, who, when, and why, and how. First, just imagine if the planet was big enough that we could discover another continent, and we could explore it, develop technologies, develop societies, develop economies, so we can advance human flourishing. And we could do it in a better way without the bloody and dark history of colonization. Imagine there's more continents we could still discover on our planet. Well, the next biggest economy that we will develop as humanity is the lunar economy. It's supposed to be worth of $170 billion by 2040. There are already lunar missions planned for 2040 in amount of $65 billion. And the moon is just the beginning. So that's the first continent we're looking at. And there are plenty of other continents we can look at. In space business, we call them other planets. Well, first of all, the moon is a pretty good gas station. It has a lot of water in the ice craters. We will see in this decade the first water on the moon to be mined and used as rocket fuel, and it only starts there. It has 40% of its regolith is made of oxygen, the main component of rocket fuel. So that's why we're developing Lunar Geology Orbiter, a mission that will probe the moon, understand its geology, and find the places where we can mine these things, use them, and explore the solar system. And if you follow the 5 W's, you might ask, who will go to the moon? Well, Brno will go to the moon. It's not going to be just Brno. We formed a consortium of 7 countries, more than 30 institutions, scientific, industrial, that are led by Brno Space Cluster and TRL Space, and we are going to the moon by 2030, so that's your next W. And why we want to do it? Well, the countries in the Eastern Europe and new EU and ESA member states, they kind of realize that they don't want to be always making low-end components, be the last-end suppliers, and we want to lead things, we want to develop things, design things, and deliver the final product. That's why we want to be the system integrator, build a big, ambitious moon mission, and show the rest of Europe and the rest of the world we can do these big things. And that's why we moved from the Brno region to the Czech Republic to the whole Eastern Europe or new ESA or EU member states that are going to do it. So to summarize, the 5 W's that we have is What? We're going to go to the moon, and then other planets. Who? It's going to be Eastern Europe, led by Brno, and we're going to do it by 2030, because that is the biggest economy that we're going to develop next, and that's how we move to high-end value-added products, final products that we can be building, and we're going to do it with a lunar geology orbiter by 2030. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter. How cool is that? I can't wait to 2030. Well, so let's sum it up. South Moravia, with the city of Brno, strengthening its position as the key city for gaming industry, entrepreneurial skills development, digital manufacturing, public innovation, cybersecurity, and space industry. It's Game Dev Incubator, Entrepreneurial Mind, Digimat, South Moravian Agency for Public Innovation, Cybersec, and the Moon Mission. These are the current exciting projects that you should know about. Presented to you by Lukáš Veselý, Hana Šolcová, Erik Odvářka, Patrik Reichl, Jakub Čegan, and Petr Boháček. And I'm reminding you these names because they are worth remembering. I guess that you feel proud of what's happening here in the Brno region. If you do not, I definitely do. And these people didn't come to stage to make you proud, but also to be seen, to be recognized and noticed. Because after this presentation, you can approach them and help them with their mission. So please don't be afraid to talk to them about how you can be helpful. Sharing the knowledge is one of the features that defines the local innovation ecosystem, so let's live it. Well, we are almost at the end, so let's sum it up. What have we experienced today? We could see a demonstration of how a company can make sustainability principles a cornerstone of its global success. We heard different attitudes towards the European Green Deal, discovered sustainability in practice and what are the funding opportunities for sustainable businesses. Exciting new startups were showcased to us as well as the movers and shakers of the local ecosystem. It's more than enough for one evening, isn't it? But there is still more to come. You are all invited for dinner. It will take place at Bugatti restaurant that is on the second floor of the hotel. Food, non-alcoholic drinks, as well as beer and wine are on us. Please make sure that you use this opportunity to meet new people, to find new ways how to help each other. I'm sure that it's not needed to repeat it to you because you are very good at networking. Today's event was brought to you by JIC and its team. But it's not only JIC that made Velvet Innovation Conference 2022 possible. We would not be able to invite first-class speakers from abroad and provide you such comfort without support of leading South Moravian technological companies. Once again, I would like to remind you that it was them who originally came up with this idea of having such annual celebration of local innovation ecosystem and to enrich it by business inspiration for the very best. So please, once again, let's thank to these main partners and other partners for their help, for their support, with an applause. We all hope that you have enjoyed the event. Did you? Yeah. So please let us know also in the survey. And if you did not, let us know as well what we can make better next time. The survey is in your Swoopcar application. To open the survey, go to Menu, choose Agenda, click on the Informal Networking, and there click on Survey. It's just 2 questions, so it will not take much of your precious time. And before we will turn off the lights here on the main stage, let me once again invite Petr, the CEO of JIC, to close this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you once again, and you came and you stay here till tonight. I've got just only 2 things. I would like to invite you for another event, smaller one, which we called Velvet Innovation Meetup. The next one will be organized on Thursday, 20th of October at 5 o'clock in the evening or in the afternoon in the Vida Science Center. So please come. We will present another startups, another innovation projects. So come and enjoy the beauty of the regional innovation ecosystem of South Moravia and Brno. The second thing I want to tell or I want to say is big thanks to you, big thanks to the speakers, and personally I want to thanks to the team who is behind this conference. Namely, it's David Tuhlíř, who is the main architect of this conference. Please, David, this is yours. Another organizer is Teresa. Teresa is over there, behind the computer. Teresa, please stand. Thank you. And Hanka Musilová somewhere, I don't know, over there. Hanka is about to leave on the maternity leave, and this is the last event before giving birth. So Hanka, thank you very much. He has been with us for 5 years, and I'm looking forward to that you come back. But this was the last even before your break. So thank you very much. And also, I want to give a special thank to Martina for our moderator. So please, thank you very much. Good evening. See you upstairs. Thank you.
Very much. So now food and drinks, and see you everyone on the 20th of October at Science Beta Centrum. Thank you very much, also from my side.